All right. So we are live today, and I am going to talk about how to start Airbnb business in 2020. Okay. Here you can see on my right, I managed to say it and to show it to you. We have some videos we picked up this morning for you. I'm talking from Norway, so it's from Norway, it's morning, and I want to discuss about those videos, and most of all what I know, what I think you should know on how to start a business in the rental market, the short-term rental in the hospitality. Yesterday I talked about the surging of hospitality. It was extremely interesting for me to share some of the things I've learned, because just like you, I am learning every single day. Okay, so learn with me, learn with Mondemi. That's what I'm trying to say to you over the past days, is that we will go through all the courses that we're gonna find on LinkedIn. Okay, so let me show it to you. I found some courses on LinkedIn, very interesting. Making money with Airbnb, Airbnb strong customer relationship, how to evaluate the Airbnb as a business opportunity, and more. Okay, so with that being said, I can share a lot on how to start a business with Airbnb in 2020, just because I've been into this business now for five years, and that's what they call the 10,000 hours. That's what you need to master your craft in anything. It's extremely important you know how to master your craft, because if you know how to do that, then it will be much easier for you to accomplish anything in your life. Okay, so with that being said, how to start a business in Airbnb. If we're talking about Airbnb and 2020, there are some things you should know. Well, in general, how to start an Airbnb business. What is Airbnb, first of all? Okay, a lot of people know it's a company. I said it even yesterday. It was started by Brian and Joe Rancheski, Joe Gavia, and that was basically back in 2009 from their apartment in San Francisco. The idea was that anyone, anywhere, with a click of a button or 3 clicks, they can basically rent their place, their extra space. It wasn't even a house or hotel, but it was mostly how normal people just like you and me can rent their own extra space. So at first, for them, it was their floor in the living room. Okay, and what they did is that they put an air mattress, which they inflated, put it on the living room. And then, because there was a convention, design convention, and don't forget, I said yesterday, watch the video from yesterday, that those two, they were coming, just graduated from a design school. I think it's Ritsky or something like that. Anyway, so there was a convention about design in San Francisco going on. Hotels were fully booked. So, bing, the idea was, let's monetize. Okay, we have an opportunity here, and that is we need to pay rent, because otherwise we're going to be evicted, and the rent is extremely expensive in San Francisco and in US. I think it was $1,000 for each housemate. And so they came with this idea, let's take out the hair mattress and let's see if someone wants to rent our place. Okay, and we will offer room and breakfast, or bed and breakfast. Okay, it was literally just a bed in their living room, not even a room. And that's how Airbnb started. So then from there, the whole idea how to start an Airbnb, it was basically that people had to offer an air bed and breakfast. Before, it was just called the air bed and breakfast. So it was like this crazy idea like they had, and they had to change it and be flexible with any type of space. So even the house in the tree. Okay, even something under the stairs, or a boat, or a castle, or a villa, whatever it is right now that it's rented on Airbnb, that's a space that can be monetized. So if you happen to have anything that you can rent, even a tent, even an inflatable tent, we have been working with all those ideas. Even in our shop.mondosol.com, we have an article about different rental places that you can have that will not cost you like a house. Okay, maybe you can have this luxury tent for about 1,000 to 2,000, $3,000, euros, wherever you are from. So with that being said, how to start a business. Well, first of all, you will need to have the asset. If you don't have the asset, so that will be how to start a property management business in Airbnb. And I'm just talking about Airbnb because it's one of our preferred partner together with Booking and Logify. Logify is the software that power Mondosol, travel.mondosol.com. I invite you to go and have a look. We have a completely different approach than Airbnb. We didn't start from, the floor of our home. Instead, me and Lynn, we both started from education and hospitality and tourism. I personally have learned from doing. So I've been working for a tour operator called Global Travel, and from there I started to learn more and more about what they call in 2008 the travolution. I just want to quickly give you, a little bit of history about me and Lynn, and so you understand why I'm qualified to talk about how to start a business in hospitality, or if we want to, call it travel industry. But we're going to talk about specifically Airbnb today and how you can start this business in Airbnb. So, like I said, I started 2008 working for this tour operator, and I learned about the Travolution, which was the shortening up of the supply chain. So, what does it mean to you? It means that basically already from 2008 there was a big trend that in the travel industry, the actors, which is basically, let's say, you as a guest or you as an entrepreneur. So there are two you now. Okay, one is you as an entrepreneur. Let me fix this. Okay, and one is you as a guest. So we have the guest, we have the entrepreneur that has a space, and now those two people need to match. And what's happening basically is that they try to interact it directly, but the problem is that they don't know each other. Okay, you might be somewhere far away, that you have, the property, or you rent for someone else, and then your guest might come, from another country. Let's say I'm in Norway and I have this house and I want to rent it out to someone in South Africa. So you see different opposite pole, huge distance between me and this person in South Africa, and absolutely we have no idea who they are. Today was someone from South Africa called Sep Wapa or something like that, celebrating his birthday. And I wish all of you today celebrating your birthday, happy birthday, as well as if you are starting a new career, congratulate. I do this every single day. You should do it as well. Celebrate and be thankful. So with that being said, Lynn, she studied, the co-founder of Mondosol, she studied as well international tourism management, and that was in different prestigious college. Then she worked for TUI. So both of us, we've been working for tour operators as well as for hotels and, the restaurant business, all the hospitality industry. So different from Brian and Joe that came from a school design. So they redesigned basically the hospitality from the mom and pop, from the normal Joe living their life from their home. So it was a crazy idea. The investor called them cockroach, but that idea, it's now turning into $1 billion company that it's going to be public in Wall Street. And probably you are thinking, should I invest or not? If that's your question, pop it into the chat or the comment. Let me know. Should you invest in Airbnb? Would you invest now in Airbnb going public? Would you be the first investor? Because they call it, a pump and dump. So what they probably are planning to do with Airbnb, the investor, the original investor, the one that called Brian and Joe the cockroach, they've grow up Airbnb like a pig. They feed Airbnb with millions and millions of dollars, actually billions, until now recently with the pandemic, because they were about to collapse. Now the Titanic was about to sink. So they had to borrow billions of dollars to be alive. And so now probably what they're planning to do, and I don't say that's the case, is that they want to pump up the title, Airbnb, the company, launch it, and then have all these suckers, all these normal people like just you and me, and I call myself a sucker as well. So you understand what I mean, is that all these normal people are buying into the hype of Airbnb being this live like a local, best company in the world, and you should buy Coca-Cola, everyone is happy, Merry Christmas. And then everybody's buying, from those investors who can have an exit strategy. So then suddenly they're going to dump you this stock that it's going to go to the sink, it's going to go to the toilet, kind of like the hospitality industry during the pandemic, right? So if you want to start a business right now in 2020, you should think about it. Should you really start it right now? After it's still good? Well, yesterday or the day before, I said I got this news, the vaccine is coming up for the coronavirus, and as well as the stimulus check in US. So people are going to have money and they're going to be vaccinated. So People have been waiting for months to travel. We saw it in the summer. People were like desperate. They wanted to get out of their caves. So they booked any plane, any place they could do. If it was close to them because they couldn't take a long trip, they did it. But I see that, for example, now in Mexico, Mexicans as well as American and Canadian are keep looking for, their New Year's holidays, their Christmas holidays. So I see there is a surge on demand. Okay, a lot of people now are basically wanting to travel because we are social animals. So even a virus will never stop human to travel, to discover, to stay together with other people. And so it's probably you. If you want to start a business in Airbnb, well, first of all, you need to be in Airbnb, register an account, all these basic things that you probably can find out yourself. But it's important to know, I have some secrets, some information that I want to share just because I've been in this industry, and I want to give you the top information. So if you are a beginner, you don't know anything about, I suggest you to come into mondosol.com shop-courses. We have a course called Mondosol Method, and that's me opening up the curtains, okay? It's like I'm showing you from my window, from my office, okay? I'm showing you exactly what I've been doing for the past 5 years, and this is the training I've done to my staff. So you basically gonna be trained by me. I I just want to say this without any fluff, without any, I don't want to pump myself because I think it's irrelevant. I am 42 years old. Soon I'll be gone, so it's about new generation, the new kid on the block. I am so happy that I gave the marketing position to a 19 years old guy that it's going to revolutionize the marketing online as we know. I'm a whole guy. I have studied marketing in 2014. You see this piece of trophy here? I got it in San Diego, in California, when I was studying with a company called Traffic Guys and Instant Customers. So I'm old. I'm the past. And so you, I hope, are the future. So if you're thinking about to start right now, that's cool. I think you are in the right spot. You are listening to the right person. Just because I'm qualified to do it, as I have the 10,000 hours to craft my ass. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Just because I went through all the steps from nothing to something to everything. I started with one apartment. My family, they had this small apartment, 2 bedrooms, one bathroom in south of Italy, in Sicily, in a small village, 3,000 people. And so I asked them, can I please try it out? I was kind of desperate for new ideas just because, a lot of things going on when you travel your life. And so I started from basically nothing. And that place was a hole in a village with farmers. And nobody was going to go there because, who's who's willing to go in a village in south of Italy that it's not even close to the sea. And when you're thinking about Sicily, you think about mafia, you're scared. If you're thinking about Italy, you're thinking about the sea and not the mountain. I mean, not everyone, the first thought about Italy and Sicily, it's the mountain. So this place was in a hill, and I said to my father, because he inherited this apartment, please let me try. And at first he said they're gonna trash the place, they're gonna put it on fire, they're gonna steal everything, they're gonna destroy everything. So no. And then I managed to convince him to let me try that Airbnb actually was coming up with something cool, which is like an insurance. They got investor in Airbnb, and the first thing they did it was to create this insurance policy so that this crazy idea that mom and pop can rent their own house and have stranger, mental, crazy criminal in their own home with a mattress to fall on, and that's this $50,000. At first, you need to read the book. I don't remember what's called. It doesn't matter, but you need to read books about Airbnb, and you can find it on Amazon. And one of them, it's the story of Airbnb. I think it's called the story of Airbnb, of a woman, a journalist, very famous. And basically, they started with this insurance policy for hosts. They call it host, so people basically who has a space that they want to rent out. And if something happened, if ass shit the fan, and if that's the case, so then Airbnb was gonna cover whatever happened. So I said to my father, do not worry about it. Let me start. Let me try it out. And that was quite impressive. I tried so many business. This is basically my third business I'm running. The first, I was 16 years old, and it was into newspaper and press. Then I continue with this experience as an entrepreneur again in Sicily, and it was about cultural tourism, but more like a marketing point of view. I was advertising small local places around the world for people to discover. And then after that, it was Mondello, which is basically a language school, now a non-profit organization to offer scholarship. Yes, you hear it right. And then after that, it's Mondosol. And Mondosol is what you're listening right now on the YouTube channel. Please smash the like button and also hit the bell notification after you subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are on Facebook, search for Mondosol on Facebook and smash the like button. If you are on Twitter, actually you need to heart you need to follow and heart the Periscope channel of Mondosol, as well as we are on Instagram. And again, heart or follow Mondosol. And then on YouTube, I don't need to repeat it, but it's so important so that you can get notification of the new video coming up, as well as other people might find very interesting this content that we are sharing for free with you. And you should share it as well. Comment on the video because it's extremely important for you to interact, as well as for me and for others, because each one teach one. You are responsible. If this world is crap, if you think life sucks, it's because your mind sucks, and you should start to think how to not suck. Okay, how you can control your mind, and that's the only thing, my friend, you can control. And you can do great things in your life if you start to take control of it. Okay, if you start to be your own boss, leader, the captain of your boat. Okay, if you master your ass, your crap, you need to be in control. And so if you want to start an Airbnb business, start by learning everything you can. That's what I did. So I went to Airbnb, I have studied their blog, read every single article, and recreate my own articles in Mondosol. Travel.mondosol.com. That's the site that we have revamped, and we have a completely different approach than Airbnb. So Airbnb is basically you renting your extra space. You go there, you create a profile. If you want, you can also travel in Airbnbs. They call it Airbnbs improperly, but it's basically spaces from people, mom and pop, the average Joe. They rent their own home, the extra space, the extra room, or they even rent out their extra house. Like I said, my family had the second home, they call it. Okay, it was more supposed to be this vacation rental home than an Airbnb. And actually, to be honest, I didn't start with Airbnb. In 2014, it was Home Trip. It's a website, hometrip.com, that has been acquired by TripAdvisor, I believe. And so I started with them. Then it was rentini.com, and it was also Homeliday, that it was part of HomeAway.com, that is now being acquired by Expedia. And I think HomeAway has been turned into VRBO. I think they're trying to push VRBO as a brand versus Airbnb. So with that being said, the experience to start an Airbnb is to have a space to rent. If you don't have a space to rent, then you should start a property management company, which means you rent out the space of someone else. And that's kind of what we did, because in Mondosol, you see, we didn't own any places. And I started with my family spot, that little 2-bedroom, one bathroom house in a 3,000 village where nobody was going to go. And actually, according to my father, the only one that were going to go, they were mental, crazy, maniac, criminals. They were going to destroy, put it on fire. And the whole thing was a crazy idea. Well, you know what? I'm just going to give you the numbers. From zero, the first year, actually the first few months, because we started in April 2014, we were able, with one apartment and few other things that came after that, to make 10,000, then 30,000 the next year, and then we did 90,000 the next year, and then we did 160,000, then 180,000, 190,000, 200,000, and so on, so on. And that's the story behind, after 700 reviews that you can find on our Mondosol profile in Airbnb, 2,000 reservations, 700 listings, not all of them active. We have accumulated a lot of experience helping other property owners. Now, I said to you, if you don't have a space, well, you can do it like we have done it, which is kind of property management. Now, don't get me wrong. We are an educational company. So our intention was not to manage anything. Instead, both me and Lynn, we had a passion for travel and hospitality, and we wanted to combine education with travel. That's why I mentioned to you the story, my story and Lynn's story. And cultural tourism, even before Airbnb existed, was something that both me and Lynn we knew about it. We were studying and working on it. For example, when I was just 19 and I was in this little village, I wanted to basically create this cultural tourism, which is, you might ask, ask me in the comment, what is cultural tourism? Or actually answer me, what is cultural tourism to you? That would be very interesting to know. Cultural tourism is basically when you travel and you want to know the culture of the place. It's not just, you move your body somewhere, you take some pictures, you put your hat because it's hot, your sunglasses, and then you say, I've been in Italy, I was in Colosseum, and I eat pizza. It's not like that. And that was just crazy Chinese. They usually come to Europe from Frankfurt, they take a bus, and then they are traveling through Frankfurt, from Germany to Italy all the way, and they do all these steps. They see Venice, they see Rome, and they see maybe Sorrento or Naples, and then they go back to Frankfurt. They take their plane, and all that. It's like a week. It's like crazy marathon. They basically sleep and eat and pee on the bus, and then they just stop. They take picture, tick, 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 and then they go back to China and they said, I've seen Italy, I've seen Europe, I've done it, I can die. But that's not what I'm talking about. Cultural tourism is actually the opposite. You go to a small village because you want to immerse yourself in the original culture of the locals. So you try to stay away from this mass tourism destination, like, for example, Rome or Venice. And instead, you want to go exactly where nobody's going or very few people are going, so that you can immerse yourself with the people living there. Not so much this crazy tourist, like you and me. But anyway, the point is, how can you start a business in Airbnb? And I want to wrap this up, and I want to tell you the most important things, because I've been hearing all kinds of crap. You can hear the guy from Missouri that I showed you in YouTube is telling you to open a company. Yeah, okay, you can do whatever you want. Like I said, first of all, you need to know, do you have a space or you don't have a space? Please let me know in the comment. Do you have a space? If you have a space, good. You can put it in Airbnb. You can put it in Mondosol. So let me tell you about Mondosol. Now, basically, what we wanted to do, it was for you as a guest to learn as well as a host to learn. So what a guest needs to learn, and I talked about cultural. So you need to know the language a little bit to communicate with locals when you move somewhere that you don't speak the same language, as well as you need to know their culture, because you might have a lot of problem if you don't know the culture and the practical things when you travel. Okay, the money, the habits, the weather, whatever. You need to know the customs, the traditions. You don't want to hurt people. So you want to know how to communicate. You want to know how to deal and all this stuff. And this is what you need to learn as a guest. Now, as a host, what do you need to learn? Well, basically, how to provide an excellent customer experience, an excellent experience for your guest. And you might not believe me if I tell you that there are hosts with 10, 15 years. And, to use the word host is a little bit inappropriate when it comes to hospitality and travel. Host, it's basically what Airbnb, Joe and Brian and Nathan have find out as a word in order to define the one having the home, the extra space, the hair mattress on the floor or the extra room. But when you talk about hospitality, yeah, the host, but I would say the property owner is more recommended. The one who owns the property or manage the property, and the property not necessarily is just a room in your house, but it can also be a second home. It can be an hotel, a motel, and holiday inn. It can be anything you might think that it's rentable, that people can live in. Even the house in the tree, actually super popular in Airbnb. And if you want to start in Airbnb, if you want to start an Airbnb business, well, start with the house in the tree. And that's something in very, very high demand. Even with the coronavirus, people actually prefer to stay in the open space, in the nature, with less crowded places. They don't love it so much, these hotels, 100 rooms, 1,000 rooms. Like, for example, we had partnered with this franchise hotels in Malaysia. They had this huge resort with 3,000 rooms and packed with people, and we didn't book a room since I don't know, March. And if you want to start an Airbnb business, then start with the tree, house in the tree or something in the nature. Buy a tent, a luxury tent. There are this beautiful tent, the Mongolian tent. Basically, they are high enough that you don't need to bend in. It's not this Canadian tent where you need to sleep all like this with the yucky mattress, the sleeping bag. No, 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 no. You can put a real bed. I'm not joking. You can put a bed in with wood or iron or whatever it is, and then a mattress on top, and then people can sleep in this beautiful tent. It's high enough. It's kind of like here. Yeah, it might not be I don't know, 3 meters, 2 meters, but it might be high enough for normal people, 170, 160, 180. I don't remember, but you get the point. It can even be higher. Those are very special tent built from the Mongolians, people living in Mongolia, or even from the Native America in North America. And so they're extremely comfortable. Now they call it luxury because it's not what you think about camping. Now they call it glamping. So if you want to start an Airbnb business, that can even be in your yard, in your garden, or in a land. And tell you this story actually. I was working last year before the pandemic, 2019, for the first time in the German market, and I wanted to work for the Oktoberfest, which, by the way, I think has been canceled this year just because you cannot put so many people together in the same space. People are getting sick, second wave, all that the world is going to collapse, economic crisis, depression, the second, third world war, 50, 100 people, millions of people are going to die. All this, just forget about it. Okay, clean your head from this hair trash and focus on what you can do, what you can control. If it's coming a war, just hide yourself. If it's the pandemic, second, third, the million wave, find a way to survive, adapt, change. And now Airbnb has changed as well. They've been doing these online experiences, and they've been doing more local trips. They've been pushing on more nature. And so it's you need to start now in 2020. You need to think what's the trend, what people problems are. And people problems are that they want to travel but they can't travel, they need to stay locked down but they really want to go. So if a place open up, they call it this coronavirus corridor. For example, Canary Island, they're trying to build up safe environment where, I don't know, they test the hell out of it and they make sure that people traveling, they're not sick. I don't know what they want to do. I think this situation is crazy. But anyway, you get the point. So if the local market where you live in, it's safe and they can travel and they can go 1 hour, 2 hours from you, put a house in the tree somewhere in a forest where you can do it, put a toilet if you can, this organic toilet, and there you go, you can start an Airbnb business in 2020. So awesome. How you going to start? It's very simple. You can go to Airbnb, you can go to Mondosol. Mondosol versus Airbnb. What's the difference? Okay, so Mondosol has been a partner of Airbnb, so we're not really against Airbnb. We're actually using partner with Airbnb. We loved it. Airbnb since 2014. A little bit less love. I think it's like a wedding. It's like we've been married with Airbnb, and we've been providing them 95% of our business. We put all our listings in Airbnb, even more than in our own site. Now we change because like I think wedding love fade away a little bit, and there are fighting sometimes. And so we've been basically decided to focus more on Mondosol and what we stand for. So you can start an Airbnb business, that's fine. You can even use Mondosol at your disposal. We have the software called Logify. You can use it for yourself if you want, or you can use it thanks to Mondosol. We're gonna offer to you for free. Like I said, even the educational part of Mondosol is that we're gonna provide you courses so that you can do this business on your own. You can learn as much as you want. We're gonna provide you with a license from LinkedIn, with a license from EDX, so you can take this prestigious Hong Kong University course on hospitality management. You can know everything about, hotels and motel and holiday inn, all that things that how to manage human resources. Because as a matter of fact, I've done the course, the last course from Ty Lopez. Ty Lopez, great influencer, but didn't know a squat. I'm sorry, Ty, I gotta say, you didn't know a squat about Airbnb and hospitality. You invited people who knew a little bit more than you, but not enough to teach. I don't want to sound cocky here, but after 700 listings, 2,000 reservations, I didn't want to hear something like, don't ask a deposit in Airbnb. That was nonsense. Okay, I'm not going to name the name of the teacher in that course, but I'm just going to say that was my last course. Great experience. I loved it, especially for the people joining like me as a student. So I'm a student. I'm a student of life. I'm a student of season. The winter is coming. You need to prepare. When the S hit the fan, you need to be ready. So you've seen it coming, this crisis, pandemic, and so now you're thinking, okay, Elio, what can I do now in 2020 with this pandemic? And I gave you some idea, and I told you some trends. I said, Mexico now it's trending. So if you wanna, if you are in Mexico, if you wanna work with Mexico, with property in Mexico, that might be a good idea. And I'm working in Playa Maya right now, and I'm actually looking for property owner who want to partner with Mondosol to learn this business, to learn how to do the best practices in the world. Like I said, we have been studying, keep studying. And I mentioned to you LinkedIn and EDX, those two platforms, preferred partner of Mondosol. They are included in the Mondemi. If you buy a package, for example, if you study with Mondosol, if you study with me, with Mondemi, and you get the business license, for example, you get LinkedIn, 16,000 plus courses. And I showed you there are a lot of courses about Airbnb. You also get with Mondemi College, the EDX package with 2,800 plus courses. And I love EDX just because, you can study from home with your phone from top universities in the world, like Hong Kong University, Cornell University, Harvard University, MIT, all the best universities in the world. And you will have on top of their self-study courses, which are awesome, I encourage you to do that no matter what, no matter how, but you will also get mentorship. You will be mentored by me or someone else who has a real experience on the field and can really help you to speed up the learning curve and, get into your Airbnb business. Airbnb is just a platform. Then you can use VRBO, Expedia, you can use Booking, and you can use Mondosol. How Mondosol is different from Airbnb? Let me answer to this before I close. So basically, Mondosol will educate you as a host and as a guest. The guest and the host, they will both be educated. And what we do here in Mondosol, travel.mondosol.com, I just encourage you to go and have a look. Actually, I can show it to you very real quick. If you go to here, mondosol.com, this is the academy, and this is the Mondosol method. I'm sorry, the computer is a little bit slow. It's loading. So I just want to reframe. This is LinkedIn Learning with the courses that we're going to offer to you when you get the Mondosol Academy, called also Mondemi. And we have courses, and Mondemi is basically like a subscription package, less than $10 a month, and you only get the courses self-study of Mondosol. But then if you do the academy, the Mondemi Academy, is basically the self-study courses of Mondosol plus mentorship. If you do the Mondemi business, then you also get LinkedIn with 16,000 courses. And if you do the college, then you get EDX with Harvard and MIT and Hong Kong University. And this is the course I am taking myself, a MicroMaster, $700 from Hong Kong Polytechnic University, one of the top in the whole world. And you can learn about international hospitality management if you're serious about. You can get a certificate. You see, managing marketing, innovation technology, luxury. So you can learn for free on YouTube from this guy or this girl or this guy here. And you can learn directly, from Mondemi. This is our platform, Moodle. And it's basically, an LMS, learning management software, where you're going to have everything. It's not just random video, random guys, but you're going to have a plan of action. You're going to have units. You're going to have assignment. You're going to have a chat. You're going to have mentorship. It's a whole package, like basically studying for real person in real life in a university contest. This is basically Mondosol Academy. After 5 years of experience, here is what you will learn: how to attract property owners excited to work with you if you want to do the property management business, or how to attract guests to work with you, to give you the money. And then the method that I've used to get the six figure, I told you, 200,000 euros in revenue. How to start highly profitable hospitality business without investing any money. Basically, you do property management. You don't buy any property. I mentioned before, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And to turn your business passive, I show you, how you can get virtual assistant and so on, so on, so on. So with that being said, let me close this up and say thank you again for being here. It's been a pleasure teaching you for free. If you want, if you like, you can also make a donation. And what we will do with your donation is that we will create a fund, a scholarship fund, basically to provide this Mondemi Academy Business and College for free to people who have no possibility, no money. So be sure that we will use your money very carefully to help people that are really in need. If you're one of them, that's good. Okay, you might apply for this scholarship. We're gonna offer up to $25,000 in scholarship. So for people who wants to play and work with Mondosol, learn with Mondosol, and that's through your help, my help. We're gonna take part of the profit of Mondosol and the Vol. We've also been donating for other charity company that we believe we strongly recommend you to donate as well. One is WWF and the other one is WTL, I think, and both are basically protecting the environment, to saving the nature. And this is not a boohoo, blah, 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 whatever you think. This is real life, because if your house is frying, in the summer, it's because you're using too much your car, you're eating too much meat, and we, maybe not you, but we as a human being, we're killing too many wild animals, and we are not sustainable. So our kids are going to die. They are gonna fry alive, just like the dinosaur with the glacial era. It's gonna be hell in earth instead of heaven. So you might want to listen not just to me, but to someone like David Attenborough and Life on Planet Earth. A beautiful, fantastic documentarian I've seen on Netflix. And if you need to spend time on Netflix, to burn your time, because you need to distract yourself from your pain, your problems, at least watch something that is useful and inspiring, like Life on Planet Earth from David Attenborough on Netflix. So, how to start an Airbnb business? Start with me, start with Mondemi, learn the hell out of it. You need to learn, you need to master your craft. Like I said, 10,000 hours, and I am talking, and I don't know almost anything. So, I'm a beginner, so I take courses, on LinkedIn, on EDX every single day. I put it on my LinkedIn profile so that you can see Elio Mondello Answer. You can find me as well as the company on LinkedIn. And so, with that being said, I loved it, and I'm gonna come here again next day. Tomorrow, we're gonna talk about something very cool. I'm very passionate about it, which is education, how to teach online. So, come again tomorrow. I'll see you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Bye for now.